Okay, so intake manifold is in. It's not exactly fully connected, nor is it tightened down to the block. As you can see, it's still kind of loose. Just got to tighten everything down, but I just got it in. What a pain in the butt that is. Seems like every single thing is in the way. I mean, you got your these are the connections for the injectors, and then you got all these little coolant passages that go through it, and you got like this bracketry right here for the throttle cables gets caught up on this, which is it's flexible, but it's in the way regardless. Things to remember when you're putting this in is that below this, attaching to the head, is a knock sensor. Make sure you get that. And then also on the back side of this is a I think it's this line right here. It's the brake like vacuum hose or something connects down around the back. I couldn't get that off with it attached, so when I eventually got this off, slid it up, I was able to then get the hose clamp off and pull it off. So when I was putting it back on, I kind of rested it up here on the valve cover and then attached to the hose and then lowered it into place. But again, it was kind of a pain because it seems like everything's in the way. This bracket, which I actually have connected already, was catching up. All these were catching up. All this was catching up. This was in the way. This was in the way. Everything's in the way. So make sure you got a healthy dose of patience and a strong back because you're leaning over this car for a while. But anyway, okay, so as I said again, the intake manifold is attached. I don't have all the accessories attached to it as far as all the sensors and everything, but the intake manifold is all torqued down and everything. Got the brackets underneath all mounted and everything. So come over here, I've got the headers or exhaust manifold attached. I've got the bolts down there loosely in place. Just need to torque everything down. I think these are something like 23 foot-pounds and these are like 16 down there, so nothing too tight. And then I also have this heat shield that's going to slide over that, and a couple of their nuts that go on there to hold that to the block and down there. So anyway, pretty straightforward and simple. Okay, exhaust manifold and heat shield are on. I've taken a little time and I put first this little square. Let's see if we can get a better angle. This bracket right here, and then also this bracket right here attaches there, and then one on the other side. I think that holds the intake resonator boxes and stuff. A couple things I'm going to tighten down. Oh, got some sun glare. This hard water pipe, coolant passage. Let's see. It goes down into here. It's kind of a pain because it's all hard and it's got like a little rubber gasket. You have to kind of force it in there. So you can see that one little bent tab kind of, let's see, right down here. That needs to be tightened up to that. Hopefully that'll kind of pull it in, and there's another bolt that kind of goes around back that kind of holds it all in place. So once that's done, then I'm going to finish connecting all this. These are injectors. Finish connecting all the various connections to the intake manifold. Then I'll put the little fuel rail in, connect the injectors, and keep going from there. I think after that, I don't have any spark plugs in yet. These are just sitting in here loose, just kind of fillers keeping crap from falling in there. So I'll pull these back out, gap my plugs, put them in, tighten all that down, get that done with, and go from there. Okay, so kind of buttoned up everything back here. A lot of connections connected. This one just goes to the actual filter housing and everything up above. One thing about this, the metal coolant pipe over there, there's the one, let's see, there it is right there, the one bolt that goes there, and then there's also another one kind of, let's see, you're not gonna be able to see it, but it's way back here, kind of, that holds it to, I think it goes into the head or something like that. I can't really even see it, so kind of got to fumble your way around and tighten that down. Again, that one's in. It looked like it was nice and snug in there. Connected some more of these. Spark plugs are in and gapped. I think it was 0.044 inches. Got all that in there. Putting all this in, tighten them down, put the plastic cover back on, and I think next step might be putting the power steering pump, reservoir, and alternator in along with belts. And holy crap, intake, resonator, filter housing, and then just putting some coolant and some oil in it. So one thing also, after you get this back on, down around the back down here, there's a threaded plug, I'll be honest, I don't know what it does or what it has go through it, and maybe oil or something like that. It looks like it kind of screws into this little housing right next to where the oil filter is. Make sure you connect that. Nobody likes any plugs or sensors missing. So anyway, so far so good. Okay, well, I apologize for the crappy video quality. It is it's officially dark. I had to make a run to the auto parts store, get some last minute stuff, and I've just been kind of scrambling, taking less video, putting more stuff together. So anyway, everything back there with the intake manifold is pretty much all put together up here. I've got the alternator in. It's pretty straightforward. Obviously, if you took it out, you can put it back in. I just had to, let's see if I can get this out of the way. The power steering pump reservoir sits on that little bracket right there. If you loosen that nut, you can slide the alternator bolt out a little bit farther, so you can actually slide the alternator itself right on in. So it's pretty simple, just loosening that nut or that bolt. And then now I'm just putting the power steering pump back in. Yeah, just following exactly how I took it apart. Okay, again, I apologize about the lack of light, but those of you that have worked on cars before know that when you get this far into a project, it's kind of nice just to keep on going regardless. So anyway, get my glove out of the way. Power steering pump is all in. Pretty straightforward, a little tight, because you kind of have to hook this bracket up right down there. And there's another part. Let's see, that little bolt right down there to loosen, just to kind of get all this stuff to be able to be moved out of the way. I've run the throttle cables. See, there comes one. I believe that's the right there would be the cruise control. It comes off. There's the normal throttle cable. Go to there, wrap around down there, and then, well, they all kind of do their thing over there. So anyway, I really think the only thing left is got to put an oil filter on, put the intake filter housing and the resonator on, and then it's a matter of just some coolant and some oil. Okay, moment of truth. Got the battery in. Everything's all hooked up. It runs.